I don't care. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray for all the children who are suffering in public schools and in neighborhoods who happen to be on the spectrum. I hear your cries. I know you're suffering. I feel your pain. I understand what you're going through. I've been there. Amen. I want to talk about something I don't usually talk about. What it's like to go, let's say, through high school on the spectrum, being mildly autistic. It's not easy. There's been studies showing that children on the spectrum are more targets for assaults, attacks, and everything like that. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Came out on top. The point is that life can be difficult when you're on the spectrum. Life can be very difficult when you're growing up on the spectrum. Very. The worst years to be on the spectrum is your high school years, your middle school years. So my heart goes out to all the children who are going through high school and middle school on the spectrum. Thank you, Early Riser. Just came in. Give me a like. Now, this is not a stream that's going to be popular, but I think it needs to be said because I want to show that, the one thing I do have compassion for and I understand is that I know that there are children out there, as we speak, autistic children, who are having a really rough time. That's right, Jim. It is tough. You try to fake being normal, but you can't. You just can't. No matter how hard you try, you just can't fake it. You know how many times when I was a kid, I just wanted to fake being normal so I could just basically not be the odd one. You know what I mean? But you can't fake it. That's true, Jim. Very true. You can't fake being normal when you're on the spectrum, but you try. The point is that I pray for all the kids who are having a rough go at it, because those early years are rough when you're on the spectrum. Well, I wouldn't say that, because those are a protected class. Okay? That's a choice that they made. Okay? I have no choice being on the spectrum. I didn't choose to be on the spectrum. Okay? It is what I am. It is how I was born. So don't give me no bull crap. No, you can't. Don't go there. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that my heart goes out to all those kids, even today, who are suffering, because they're the odd one. You know, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be able to fake it. I tried it. It doesn't work. Embrace who you are. That's all I can tell you, is to embrace who you are. You're not going to be with the normal kids. That's how it is. That's the hand you've been dealt. The point is here is that I really want people to know that, according to stats, autistic children are targets for assaults in public schools, because they're different, because you have to be a sadistic son of a bitch. I mean, even if you're a kid, you're pretty evil to assault someone who's basically autistic. I mean, that's neither here nor there, because I'm not going to get into psychology to people. They don't. The thing is, even as an adult, they don't understand. People don't understand autism. They don't understand. Okay, and misunderstandings happen. It's a lot worse when you're growing up. A lot worse. It's a lot harder. It gets a lot easier when you're fully grown. But when you're growing up, when you're in middle school, you're in high school, people don't know. People don't understand. It's like, and sometimes people misinterpret your reactions. So I just want to let everyone know. I want to let those poor suffering kids that are probably suffering right now. They're going through the school system. They're coming up, and they're all being on the spectrum. It's not easy. It isn't. But I hear your cries. I've been where you are. I know you wish you could be normal. I know you wish life could be easier for you. But just understand, it will get easier. And that's what I'm saying. Growing up on the spectrum is rough. Well, that's all I got to say about it. That's all I really wanted to say. I pray for all the poor children, poor kids suffering, who are on the spectrum. Yeah, it's a rough time. You have it rough, but it will get better. Well, okay. I guess I didn't do this stream to basically get a lot of views, so there you have it. Yeah. Thank you, early riser. like I said, there's a lot of people who don't understand autism. And even as an adult. But the lack of understanding as a kid is a lot rougher. Mm-hmm. So it's because children can be cruel. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people think when you're on the spectrum that you're retarded. Not true. People on the spectrum are very much what you would call savants in a lot of ways. Maybe not intelligent in other ways, but highly intelligent in many ways. People on the spectrum, especially the high functioning ones like myself, are not retarded at all. Actually, we're very intelligent, but we're just not socially intelligent. You know what I mean? If you get that point, there can be a physical. Hello, Dave. Oh, I know you, the fat guy. Oh, the guy who ate all those hot dogs. Yeah. No, I'm the wolf guy. Don't bring up his antlers. Trust me, I've already had him for dinner. So don't. Oh, thank you, Backyard Dispatcher. I was just doing this stream, sending my prayers and understanding to kids who are suffering in the school system when they're because who are on the spectrum, who have autism. So, particularly, I can understand people on the spectrum. Basically, I had a rough go at it when in my basically like middle school and high school years. And when you're on the spectrum, yeah, you're gonna have a rough go at it because you're different and you just can't fake being normal. Well, the thing is, with people on the spectrum, they can't hide it. You know, when I was younger, I tried to fake being normal, but I wasn't faking shit. There's no way I could fake it. Yeah. Maybe Backyard Dispatcher, but the thing I'm doing this stream is putting my prayers out for all the kids who are having a rough go at it in middle school and high school right now as we speak because of the fact that they are on the spectrum. Now, being on the spectrum is something you're born with. It's not something you like to be, not something you want to be, not something anyone strives to be. As a matter of fact, being on the spectrum sucks most of the time. I'm not going to lie to you. It sucks. You know, it gets a lot easier when you're older, but still, it's wonder no more because I have years of experience of living on the spectrum, and we don't react the same way other people do. Our brains are wired differently. We just don't. We're. I'm a high functioning autistic person, so basically, I'll put it this way: our our reactions are different. Or the way we basically misunderstandings can happen because of that. Because we're less emotional. Sometimes there are times when we are much less we are emotional, but we're our reactions are a little more cold. Sometimes we can come off as rude, but we don't mean to be. Oh, how you doing, Edward? So my prayers go out to all the kids who are going through middle school and high school right now, and basically suffering on the spectrum because, well, it's difficult. It's rough when you're on the spectrum because, well, kids can be cruel. And they don't understand it. Bottom line. Thank you. Thank you, Backyard Dispatcher. God bless you. Well, I was just bringing up a topic, and I just did a prayer, Edward. Edward is also on the spectrum, about for all the kids who are having a rough go at it, being on the spectrum. Um, you know, um, when I was a kid, I thought I could fake being normal. Boy, was I wrong. I couldn't do it. They just knew that I wasn't one of them. They just knew. There's no way I could, no matter how hard I tried, I could not fake being a normal kid. And the lesson to be learned here, if you're on the spectrum, you're having a rough go, don't try to fake being normal. It will not work. It will not work. Yeah, I know that one, Edward. I decided to do one on my channel. So basically, my prayers go out to nobody. That's so true, Bullfrog. But the thing is that there's been studies done. Children on the spectrum. Well, I'll put it this way. Children on the spectrum are more subject to assaults when in middle school and high school. They're subject to be more ostracized. It happens. Basically, children on the spectrum have a more rough go at it than your basically regular students in, let's say, middle school or high school. So it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for them. It was rough for me, but I think in a lot of ways, it was a blessing in disguise how rough it was, because it made me stronger, and it made me more determined to do more determined to achieve something. I've achieved some things. It made me stronger. It toughened me up a little bit, but at the same time, it's pretty rough when you're on the spectrum. You're not going to be, the cool kid. You're not going to be any of that. So I understand that. I understand it. And for all the kids out there, the autistic children, the ones on the spectrum who are having a rough go at it, it's going to get better. You're not alone. And I'm praying for you, and I'm rooting for you. That's very true. Elon Musk is Elon Musk is an awesome guy. Well, I don't know him personally, but he is an inspiration for people on the spectrum. I can tell you that. Mm. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. Part of me thinks that kids on the spectrum need their own schools. If you're gonna, I'm not talking about their own classes. No, no, no. That really doesn't work when you're trying to mix it with normal kids, because that's gonna be more hurtful. I think the kids on the spectrum need their own schools, their own separate schools for children on the spectrum, not special ed, separate schools. At the very least, we can have our own schools. You know, I'd love to start one too. I'd love to start a school for children on the spectrum. Interesting, Rooster. I'm not talking about that, but so in my opinion, children on the spectrum need their own separate schools, their separate places. Because I think that it's not working the way it is. It just isn't. I hope that is very true, Bullfrog. We are very, how can I say, introverted, Bullfrog. I'm becoming less introverted. I have friends now. I think it's because, number one, when I've always been felt the odd man out. Like I've never been like fit in, even with my own family. So I've always been kind of like, that's why I did this whole internet YouTube thing, because I just wanted people with similar interests and people that were like me. I found that. And then when I realized I was on the spectrum, it made a lot of sense. People on the spectrum, can form communities, I think. You know what I mean? Amen, Edward. But at the same time, I will tell you this: if you don't think that I would love to have a greater autistic community, it's just we're widespread, particularly in America. We're very widespread. There's conventions and everything for autistic people, but we're widespread where we can't form communities of people like ourselves. If autistic people could form like offline communities where but the problem is in America you can't do that because autistic people are spread out all across the freaking country and all across the world. So I don't know what it is like in the UK, Edward, but it's hard to find another autistic person. You can find them, they're around you, but it's like a small number. And it's like, and you want to basically, if we could, I would love to start an offline community in America for autistic people. autistic men and women who just want to be accepted in a community of autistic people. You know, I love that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Electric. How you doing, Bruce? How you doing? How's your vacation done? How's your camping? I was just talking about, I'm praying for. That's very true, Mr. Bullfrog. Very, very true. And I think that autistic people need a community. You know, that's awesome. I love to ride with you. I love those bikes, by the way. I love them. I need to get me one. For those who don't know, I met Mr. Electric in the real world. We shared information. I'm the Slingshot Warrior. I let him know that I have a big YouTube channel, and he knows it now. You're welcome, Mr. Bruce Electric. You're welcome, Bruce. I do wish that I could start like an entire community for autistic people. I think that our time has come. You're welcome. All right, we got 7 likes. Good morning. Thank you. That's awesome, Edward. If I could do anything, like I said, I would start my own community for autistic people because we're so misunderstood. A little village for all the autistic people. Subscribe to his podcast. He's got a pretty good podcast. Well, it's been a good stream. I want to end it in a positive note with a prayer. In Jesus Christ's name, please forgive me for my sins. And I pray that you bless all the children who are on the spectrum, who are suffering in middle school and high school, and let them know that they are not alone and that there are others that hear their cries, that they can't, and that they should embrace who they are. Amen. All right. Well, bye-bye.